It's back to school season where I live, and we're going back to school here at Last Right's Speechcraft services as well. We're beginning a multi-part series in Speechcraft Fundamentals. If you're a new speaker, this is going to help lay the foundation on which you can build a great speaking career. And if you're a seasoned speaker, you can benefit as well, because you are never so good that you can afford to stop learning, and you are never too old to go back to school. Today's fundamental is you need a clear message. Many people have a topic near and dear to their hearts that they want to speak about. For example, leadership. Okay, but what's your message? That's different from your topic. Your message is how you want your audience to change as a result of listening to you. So, what do you want your audience to know that they didn't know before you spoke? What do you want your audience to feel that they didn't feel before you spoke? Or what do you want your audience to do that they weren't doing before you spoke? Your message is how you want your audience to change as a result of listening to you. So you have your topic, leadership. What's your message? One example of a message might be, who are the 3 greatest leaders of all time and why? Another example might be, what are you doing that causes people to reject your leadership? Or you can put a positive spin on that and say, how can you be a leader that people will gladly follow? See, leadership is multifaceted. It means a lot of different things to different people. You take that big topic and then you hone in on a very specific, clear message. And when I say clear message, you should be able to articulate that in 3 grammatically correct sentences. Why do you need a clear message? Well, there are 2 good reasons. The first is people are going to ask you what your message is. For example, if you say, I'm going to speak on leadership, my response is going to be, yeah, so what about it? I'm not going to invest my time, possibly my money, to hear you talk about something as vague as leadership. However, if you came to me and said, I'm going to teach you how to be a leader that people will gladly follow, I'm in. I would pay to hear that. The second reason to have a clear message is it establishes the boundaries of your speech. You only keep the points that support your message, and if it doesn't support your message, you throw it away. For example, your message is how to be a leader people will gladly follow. Well, that's not a speech where you would give a lot of biographical information about Winston Churchill. Now, if your message were the 3 greatest leaders of all time, then you might go into Winston Churchill's life. But because you're talking about how to be a great leader people will gladly follow, you keep the content that supports your message and you cut out the stuff that doesn't support your message. That's why it's so important to have a clear message to begin with. Once in a while, you do have to speak on a topic for which there is no apparent message. My advice is avoid those situations if you can, but let's just say you can't. Let's say a group hired you and they gave you a topic to speak on, and no matter how hard you tried, you just could not squeeze a message out of that topic. Well, there is something you can do. There is an emergency measure. It is to be used as a last resort, and it will help you write a speech about a topic for which there is no clear message. And you're going to get that in a future video. You can't get it today because there's something else you need to learn first. So check back for that tip. That's the difference between a topic and a message, and why you need a clear message for your speech. It allows you to articulate to your audience what you'll be telling them about, and it makes it clear in your own mind what you'll be writing about, because you will be keeping all the content that supports your message and removing all the content that doesn't support your message. So keep it tuned here to lastrights.com for more speaking tips. That's last-writes.com. And together we, that's you and I, we will lay boring speeches to rest by giving them the last rights.